What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, former unified welterweight world champion superstar boxer Keith one-time Thurman, he weighs in on the highly anticipated massive mega showdown between his former rival foe, legendary 8-division world champion, iconic Filipino superstar boxer Manny Pacquiao, an undefeated unified WBC IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer who is widely considered by many to be top 3 best pound for pound fighters in the world, in Errol the Truth Spence Jr. With that said, we know the history between Errol Spence and Keith Thurman, as Errol Spence has been trying to seek out a fight with Keith Thurman pretty much, okay? He's been trying to seek out a fight. He was trying to seek out a fight. He was pursuing a fight with Keith Thurman for quite some time, okay? And when Errol Spence, his first title opportunity, he went over to the UK. He beat Kell Brook, who was the former IBF welterweight world champion, British superstar boxer in a hostile environment in the UK, okay? Keith Thurman, prior to that, Errol Spence was trying to secure a fight with Keith Thurman prior to that, but Keith Thurman said that Errol Spence needed to pick up a belt first, okay? Then Errol Spence, he picked up a belt, and then he wanted to unify against Keith Thurman, and Keith Thurman still wouldn't take the opportunity or take the bait. Keith Thurman, he later stated that he was letting the opportunity and the fight build up because he felt like Errol Spence was his version of Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. He thought it was a mega massive showdown, okay? Ironically enough, Keith Thurman ended up fighting Manny Pacquiao himself and losing. Keith Thurman, 29 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 22 wins by way of knockout. Keith Thurman is 5'7.5" with a 69-inch arm reach. Okay, Keith Thurman is 32 years of age. The last time we saw him in the ring was July 2019 when he took on and lost to Manny Pacquiao. With that said, you know, Keith Thurman, he wants an opportunity to regain his belt back from Manny Pacquiao, but Manny Pacquiao was placed as champion in recess due to inactivity himself. He hasn't fought since the last time he beat Keith Thurman in the ring, okay? And the WBA, they put him as champion in recess. They elevated then regular WBA champion Cuban star boxer Yordenis Ugas to super champion, and most recently they decided that they weren't, after they took another vote, the board, that they weren't going to reinstate Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, he then went in on the WBA and their decision not to reinstate him, and they said that he wasn't given a proper respect and proper notification. With that said, you know, Keith Thurman, he didn't take the opportunity to fight Errol Spence. Errol Spence is on record as saying that he'll never fight Keith Thurman now because Keith Thurman didn't give him the opportunity. And Keith Thurman, he had his Manny Pacquiao in reality, okay? He thought his fight with Errol Spence was going to be like the mega showdown between Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, but he got the opportunity to fight Manny Pacquiao himself, and it didn't work out for him. Now Errol Spence, August 21st, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena, he's going to have the opportunity to fight against Manny Pacquiao himself. Errol Spence, 27 wins, no losses, no draws, 21 big wins by way of knockout. Errol Spence is 31 years of age, stands at 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. Last time we saw him in the ring is when he took on and defeated 2-division world champion, former unified junior welterweight world champion, former WBC welterweight world champion, superstar boxer Danny Swift Garcia. That was December of this year. He got a unanimous decision victory after a 14-month layoff and suffering a horrific car accident just 12 days after unifying the belt against 2-time welterweight world champion superstar boxer Showtime Shawn Porter. So with that said, impressive victory for Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence, he stated that he was only about 80% of himself in that fight, so he'll be 100% in this Manny Pacquiao fight. Manny Pacquiao, he's saying that in that fight, they witnessed Errol Spence slow down. He's not the same guy. Errol Spence is southpaw. Manny Pacquiao, 62 wins, 7 losses, 2 draws. Manny Pacquiao has 39 big wins by way of knockout. Manny Pacquiao himself has been knocked out 3 times. He's 42 years of age, stands at 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. And I already told you, he last fought against Keith Thurman July of 2020. Okay, so Manny Pacquiao, he stated that he's a southpaw. Errol Spence is southpaw, so they eliminate, offset each other, having a southpaw advantage. Okay, Errol Spence to me is the better skill, better technically skilled, better sound, better counterpuncher with a better jab boxer than Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, unorthodox, very fast hands, very fast feet, has the experience, obviously, been in this position a number of times. Manny Pacquiao has power, and he has a beautiful right hook, as well as Errol Spence Jr. Manny Pacquiao is more explosive with his punches. With that said, Keith Thurman, he weighed in on this fight. And Keith Thurman, he stated that Manny Pacquiao is no longer fast enough to beat Errol Spence. It's going to take Keith Thurman, his skill set, his ring IQ, according to Keith Thurman, that's going to be able to beat Errol Spence Jr. He does not see anybody else beating Errol Spence Jr., not even undefeated 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the WBO welterweight world champion, is widely considered by many to be the #1 pound-for-pound boxer in the world, Terrence Boyd Crawford, which makes for the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. This is the fight the boxing world is clamoring for. It's seen as the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. Terrence Crawford, 37 wins, no losses, no draws. Terrence Crawford had 27 wins by way of knockout. He's 33 years of age, stands at 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. Now, last time we saw him in the ring was November 14th, when he too took on former IBF champion Kell Brooks. So, with that said, Keith Thurman says that Terrence Crawford is too small for Errol Spence. And now Keith Thurman is saying that Manny Pacquiao has slowed down. He's not the same guy, even that he fought. Okay, he said he's been watching his training videos. He's been watching his footage. And he stated that he's not as quick as he once was. And that is going to be the issue with him and Errol Spence, because you need to be very, very quick or very technically sound to be able to outbox Errol Spence, or to be quick enough to get in the inside and get back out. And Keith Thurman says that Manny Pacquiao does not have the speed right now, from what he sees, to get on the inside and to get back out before Errol Spence can return offense. Okay, Keith Thurman, he was dropped in the first round of the fight with Manny Pacquiao. He was badly hurt in the 10th round against Manny Pacquiao. Seemed like he was on the verge of getting stopped. He weathered the storm, and Keith Thurman, he came back. Manny Pacquiao, he got a split decision victory over Keith Thurman. He didn't dominate the fight, as many people, have forgotten, So, with that said, everybody looks at the fight and they say, well, Manny Pacquiao, he beat Keith Thurman, but he didn't dominate him. Now, he had his moments, but Keith Thurman had a lot of moments himself. You go back and watch the fight. He was countering Manny Pacquiao. He was landing big, clean punches on Manny Pacquiao, and he was getting to Manny Pacquiao, okay? As Keith Thurman stated, he should have started earlier. He said he had injuries. He didn't start early in the fight as he wanted to, and that hindered him from getting a victory. So he says that, he doesn't believe that Manny Pacquiao is going to have the ability to get on the inside, close the gap, because he's at such a size disadvantage. He's going to have, that being Errol Spence, a 4.5-inch height advantage over Manny Pacquiao, and he's going to have 5-inch arm reach advantage over Manny Pacquiao. And he's younger. He's 11 years younger than Manny Pacquiao. And Manny Pacquiao, in activity, he's been out the ring for over 2 years by the time this fight happens, August 21st. The last time he fought was July 19th of 2020. So Keith Thurman is stating that the inactivity, and he's seeing rust. He's seeing that he's not as quick. Now, I don't know how Keith Thurman can judge the speed of Manny Pacquiao just from watching the footages, because I watched the footage and he looks just as quick as he always looks, okay? Maybe there's some things that Keith Thurman sees that he believes that, warrant him to believe that Manny Pacquiao is just not the same guy he was when he fought him, okay? And so that speaks volumes, because if he's not the same guy he fought Keith Thurman, when he fought Keith Thurman, he definitely wasn't the same guy when he fought prior to Floyd Mayweather. And Floyd Mayweather, if he slowed down that much, that means Errol Spence is going to get a stoppage victory, in my opinion. I think Errol Spence is back with his strength and condition coach, Blue Ray Fitness. He's also brought in a nutritionist. We know, that Errol Spence, prior to these fights, he was his own nutritionist. He believed in himself. He wasn't with his strength and condition coach, Blue Ray Fitness, for the Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, and Danny Garcia fights, the last 3 fights at the very least. And now he's going back to his roots, okay? He has a newfound respect and love for the sport. As he stated, he's rejuvenated after the car accident. He's refocused. He understands what's his bread and butter and what feeds his family, take care of his children. And so he's recommitted himself to the sport of boxing, okay? bringing in a nutritionist, going back to the strength and condition coach. You know, those things are going to be pivotal for him to be victorious. And if Manny Pacquiao, like Keith Thurman said, slowed down that much, then I believe that we could see Errol Spence possibly get a stoppage victory for sure in this fight. With that said, Keith Thurman believes his skill set can offset Errol Spence's skill set. And I beg to differ. Keith Thurman is inactive, just like Manny Pacquiao. Keith Thurman does not come off or does not show that he's the same fighter he once was after he beat Danny Garcia and Sean Porter. That version of Keith Thurman has not shown up in the Josito Lopez fight. He was badly hurt in that fight, looked like he was on the verge of getting stopped. Then he fought Manny Pacquiao. He's badly hurt in that fight. He ran around the ring, spit out his mouthpiece, looked like he was on the verge of getting stopped there. He don't seem to have the same found love and respect for the sport of boxing that he once was. Now, I'm not going to say Keith Thurman's approach to the sport has changed, but the love for the sport, okay, has simply looked like it's dwindled in the eyes of Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman got married. He's enjoying life. He's inactive, to say the least. Again, he has had a lot of injuries, but the last time he's been in the ring is the last time Manny Pacquiao's been in the ring. So, you know, I don't believe that Keith Thurman, without at least two more good solid fights, would even be a serious competitive fight with Errol Spence at this point in time. Errol Spence, the chip on his shoulder, Errol Spence focus. Errol Spence is, you know, he's at the peak of his career, or going into the peak of his career. You know, and the disdain Errol Spence has for Keith Thurman on top of it, I believe it would just be too much. Keith Thurman, he has issues when fighters go to his body. That seems to be his glaring weakness. We saw it in, you know, the Josito Lopez fight. We saw it in the Pacquiao fight. We saw it in the Luis Collazo fight. Glaring weakness. Well, that's a glaring strength for Errol Spence. So, I don't think Keith Thurman has enough to keep Errol Spence from getting to his body. Errol Spence is a body snatcher. He changes levels. He's shown his versatility. I just think he'd be far too much for Keith Thurman, as I believe he's going to be for Manny Pacquiao August 21st. Can't wait. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
This is Amanda, the real deal Serrano, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.